premiered in 1607, Monteverdi's Orfeo has a popular reputation today as the first opera. But actually, it was not the first. We have the score of Peri's Eurydice from 1600. And it was not an opera. The title page calls it Favola in musica, a story in music.
Io la musica son, ai dolci accenti, so far tranquillo ogni turbato corre.
This project links performance, training and research, putting historical principles into practice for young professionals, advanced students and for a modern audience.
In the concert, I will not be conducting. They didn't have a conductor in those days. I'll start at the beginning.
We started with the Platonic order of priorities championed by Caccini in 1601. Text, rhythm, and, last of all, sound, and not the contrary.
E tor di nobilire, tor d'amore, possi infiammar le più gelate menti.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
The walking thing works better than I thought. Yes, that's great.
It's a new approach to because like grabbing the text and making it go over to the score, to the notes, instead of the opposite way.
Our research work was historical, 17th century information about music, emotions, acting, movement, gesture, and period medical science. Practical, devising rehearsal methodology to put this information to use. And analytical, reviewing our work with techniques of reflective practice. Our rehearsal methods focused attention on historical priorities of text and rhythm. We studied the Italian text as actors might work on a Shakespeare play. We studied rhythm in 17th century terms of tactus and word accentuation. A new edition, based on the two original prints, corrected some long-standing errors and gave performers clearer information about Monteverdi's rhythms.
What is important is that there's this basic pulse, one single heartbeat moving from one piece to the next. And I think, you know, through the links, through the changes of time signature.
For the singers, you do need to know the rhythms.
I met some of the musicians 3 months ago to introduce them to the idea of tactus rhythm, and I've had an hour to work on the text with each solo singer.
And we, right here in Copenhagen, are doing something radical to find out what Claudio really wrote and understand why, understand the drama that's in his rhythms. That's in the rhythms of the music, it's in the rhythms of the way you move, and those rhythms give you strength and give you the dramatic intensity. It's something very new, and you'll hear 1,000 performances of this that don't bother with that, but we are going to bother. That's what we're here for this week.
Now we have 7 days to put together a complete performance. Striggio's Italian libretto poses some challenges. Translations tend to offer complete sentences, whereas singers need to understand the text word by word. And 17th century poetry often presents an unexpected word order. Our singers tried difficult lines in their own language to confirm the sequence of ideas, emotions and gestures, before switching back into Italian.
På denne glædens dag, hvor Orfeo skal giftes, der skal vi alle sammen danse og synge.
Super.
På denne glade og lykkelige dag.
Very nice. Now tell me the same thing in Italian.
In questo lieto e fortunato giorno.
We sought communication of emotion, from poet and composer to singer, and from singer to audience, according to the Renaissance theory of visions. To help each singer define this vision sharply in their imagination, we established a specific location for each person or object referred to by deictics, pointing words.
So when you say, bring to these lovers, the lovers are these guys. When you say, bring to these lovers, the lovers are you and me, darling. Okay, so exchange answers like we just did. To these lovers,
it's very interesting to work with these gestures. There's something we don't.
We have never tried.
So it's very different. But when, as he said, when you get the pictures, then the gestures are more. You know, it's nothing artificial with it. It's just coming.
They are actually very helpful, I think.
Yeah.
Orfeo was originally performed with a small cast of 8 or 9 singers. But for our production, the Academy wanted a large chorus. Since there is no conductor, responsibility for maintaining the tactus has to be shared by every individual member of the chorus.
every single person is responsible for the rhythm. Once more, who is the conductor? Much better. G minor. One, singers, would you all wave your hands? Down, up. 1, 2. Wave your hand for good and not on the bad. 1, 2.
Many of the rehearsal techniques are deceptively simple. The sophistication of the methodology lies in devising exercises that can be learnt quickly and applied repeatedly, that focus attention on one particular element, that allow the director to observe individual singers, that allow singers themselves to perceive their progress, and, most important of all, that are very precisely matched to period concepts.
I want to learn from how he communicates, how he inspires musicians and non-musicians to listen and to express themselves as part of this production. I think his way is truly unique. He is the rhetorician incarnate, if you like. He does what he preaches.
Words, tactus, words, tactus, words.
The 17th century concept of rhythm was to measure time with a regular slow beat, the tactus. Meanwhile, the word accents produce patterns of long and short syllables, good and bad notes, that sometimes coincide with the tactus and sometimes play against it.
Words. Tactus people! The tactus. Words people! Wave your hand on the good syllables. 3, 4, 1.
Continuo players improvise their parts from Monteverdi's written bass line, using 17th century principles to add harmony and rhythmic structure.
And you can see our notation works. Bum bum ba di do da da da, yum bum ba di do da da da. Whenever you have the two half notes, da da, make them long, short, good bad.
When the music changes from duple to triple meter, the change is guided by the tactus pulse, which remains constant. Monteverdi's music matches the emotions of the text word by word. Period science considered that words and music create images, visions in the mind of the performer and of the listener, by which emotion is communicated.
Say the words, make pictures in your head, something terrible, cruel fate, stars that hurt you.
Contrary to today's convention of slowing down to end a piece of music, Monteverdi's tactus structures the link from one speech to the next, to great dramatic effect.
I'm going. Yes, goodbye, I'm going. Breath. Okay, so try your tempo, not slow at all.
Addio terra, addio cielo, e sole, addio.
String players apply the concepts of tactus and good and bad syllables to produce the sounds of Italian poetry with their bow strokes. They imitate singers with this word-based phrasing and in the articulation of long notes with a late crescendo and vibrato.
The first note is for the instruments, like the singers do with I. It's an exclamation, exclamation. And Caccini tells us exactly how to do it. You play forte at the beginning, boom, and immediately piano, boom, and then you do a very late crescendo and vibrato.
Caccini's monodies show how to develop long notes with crescendo or with exclamazione. Madrigals, especially Gesualdo's, show the emotional meaning of chromatic changes, literally notes that change colour.
So you melt from B flat into B natural. It's like they're one note with two colours.
When we've been here for 2 days, and like I felt the touches inside of me, and it became so much easier, and then I feel relaxed when I do it.
O tu, che non si morde a queste rive, temerare ti viene.
According to Quintilian, the 3 priorities for delivering text are action, action, action. So in parallel to the musical work, Stephen Player coached singers in the visual, physical presentation of the drama. Historically, meaning and emotion are conveyed with hand gestures and by the power of the eyes. But actors must first learn to command the space and to present the body with period deportment.
Oh, tu!
You're a demigod who becomes into a star. So you get really on your ground on your feet and feel where the weight of your body is. So you come along with the notion of trying to do something with specific gestures to help explain the story, but first of all you've got to get some ground for them to do it on. And that's been a bit of a sort of eye-opener. You've got to build them up, their characters up, their people up, their persons up, their bodies up, so they can support themselves, and then they can start to do some gesture. You need to make these pictures of Eurydice as a nymph, and not sort of a ordinary 21st century Eurydice.
Now there's a technical thing for you. Most of the things you're going to describe are off to your left-hand side because they're bad things. But you need to show them with your right hand. Okay, because that's what they did, they didn't use the left hand. Yeah, and you've got to avoid, that's not good.
Any characters, you have to use the hips. You don't stand with your weight on both feet, ever.
No.
Your weight's always on one foot.
Tell me once in Norwegian, something like there's the bad guy.
Och här borta kan du köra den stygge färgemannen.
Super. Yeah, he sounded horrible.
Let's just do that. Stand with your feet here. Okay, you push the weight onto your left foot. Keep your shoulders up, your chest up. Use your hip. Now push across the other side. So you have to bend one knee. And the leg you're standing on is always the leg you're standing on. You have to stand on the leg.
So that's straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you stand on a straight leg, so that your weight is always committed to one foot.
Okay.
Whatever your position, whatever gesture you make, you have to be right into the ground with it.
Once more, this is good. It's nice. A little, no louder, just a little bit clearer with the rest. One, two.
There's still days to go, and every day they can do something. They've absorbed what we did the day before, so there's less necessity for me to be there because they're building up their own gestures. They're building up their confidence.
Things we've done is all new, all brand new. So you know, it's good that we have Steve here who can like just show us and really show us well examples of what we're doing.
Side of the stage, and the bad things to the left. You, as you know, are a bad thing. So we've got you centre.
17th century books show specific gestures. Some express particular emotions. Some indicate specific objects. Others show rhetorical structures in the speech.
Yes.
O tu in antimorta questa rive temeraria te vieni arresta I pazzi.
Humble of you, respectful to him. So look at modest beginning is what it's called in the notes, okay? After your introduction, the ritornello is played by the violins. Okay, it's just general.
Yeah.
Then, your second verse. Now you develop your argument. And so now you need to use these gestures, this one where you put your thumb to the middle finger, these ones where you hold your finger. Now you start to argue. After you say, actually I'm dead already, it's the cornetti who are dead and strange, sort of spooky sound.
Non vi io no.
Your last words are paradiso, paradise, and you hear the harp. The echo is from the right hand to the left hand. So that's your kind of echo between the two hands. And this corresponds exactly to what Agazzari says. What does the double harp do? The double harp does trills and echoes from one hand to another. Well, what a great description of this solo. Alquanto. This is going to be the pluckers and the organ of this side. Ben mi losing alquanto. This is bar 191. Ben mi losing alquanto 191. Very gentle. Caronte's gone soft, okay?
Yeah. That's a pretty good song.
Gentle kick on the beat. The downbeat of bar 2 is the bad quantum. Gentle kick, because he says dilettandomi, delightingly, so a delightful kick. Fourth beat underneath core of core, that's the good, re is the bad. Sad kick on sconsolato. You had a fantastic drama thing going on, which is usually your nice thing. And then you went mean, But don't go mean while you're singing. Finish singing, then go mean, and then sing again.
The ideal Renaissance man had sprezzatura, nonchalance, cool. Here, the chorus celebrate the hero crossing the water, so cool that he sprezzò, cared nothing for the anger of the winds, lo sdegno.
Sprezzo means, I don't care about that. It's not to respect. Che sprezzo. Let's put that click in. Che sprezzo. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Che sprezzo.
I mean, go to the museum if you've got time, but try and look at these early pictures of when you see couples, you know, in love. This contact, and just a gesture. I mean, it says a lot just with the eyes.
Keeping a steady tactus produces strong contrasts between fast declamation and sustained long notes. Singers must synchronize their vision of the meaning and the movement of their gestures with the varying speeds of the text.
And now have a very clear picture of where you are, like we saw in the painting. So you have the throne right here. So he is the king, but you have this amazingly privileged position that you can speak to the great king directly into his ear. You must have a super clear picture in your mind of every single word that you say. And you must run the film of those pictures simultaneously as you're speaking, so that you see in your imagination exactly what you're talking about in the precise moment you talk about it. You have to practice it for the emotion and for the shape of it. I, with a crescendo. Good. And this is why you need to practice it, because after going "I" with so much emotion, it's very easy to go sweet. But you don't want to do that. You want to go sweet. So you have to go "I" with the strong emotion, sight that is too sweet. And the sweet has to be sweet. Tower, because it changes so much.
Yes.
Once more. Good. The I is good and the dolce is good. We're not getting vista, the thing in your eyes, and remember it's looking to Orfeo. It was about where this lamp is. Okay. Mosso a tanto pietà, so much pity. Yeah, not just a bit of pity. Oh dear, what a shame. His wife's dead, tough. But rather, so much. You could make the tanto bigger that way.
Yeah.
Just open your hands slowly, but with some strength in them, as if you're spreading out something big. Have a go, mosso.
Mossa tanta pietà.
Good. Super for tanto. What does pietà mean?
Yeah, shit.
Absolutely. So but this is the whole thing.
Yes.
The tanta is this big strong thing, and then pietà. And make the picture too.
Yeah.
Imagine all this pity, and it's coming in and it's filling up your heart. This was the picture they had of how all emotions work. This idea of these fluids.
Yeah.
So imagine that this, they've got a slightly strange idea for us of how the body works, but it's actually it's an idea that is very suggestive when you're acting.
Yeah.
You can use this old science and just feel that all these warm, tender feelings of pity are just coming inside and filling you up, especially all around your heart. With all the long notes, let your vibrato and all the development of the note come later. What they said at the time, and I think it's true still today, is the audience get the expression partly from what you do with your hands, talking with your hands, but very much from your eyes. And you've got a good way of using your eyes to give this mean and strong and unchanging. So use that. There's a special gesture which is very strange looking for us, but I like it because it's so strange. Which is which is the gesture for here's a subtle point. Which is the little finger. Just one little thing. As you say, he mustn't ever turn. That's when you turn.
Okay.
Volge. In the same speed you say volge.
I volge.
Super. Try and make it that your eyes drag your head round.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Eyes first.
Non mai volger
That is great. And so the turn that he must not do, but he will do, will be that turn looking backwards, just like you did it. If you can organise it that way, that after doing your turn, that the lustful eyes you do straight at the audience, they'll get it full on, and that's better, I think.
Non mai volger
Yes, great, great.
Which
is very much the background that they're imagining for the whole hell scene. And this altrui is God.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
So don't let even God think about changing, change that.
Right, it's just you never mention his name in hell.
No.
He's just altrui.
That's like saying Satan up in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. It's a longer note, which gives you more time to do it.
Yeah.
Ne di Very good.
Spur
With a constant tactus, Monteverdi notates strong contrasts of syllabic speed to convey heightened emotion.
So that this sudden rush here, this is your picture of her eagerness to go back home.
Of course.
Just say pietade. Now make it a nice character. And the deck is short. And the oh, goodbye, goodbye, oh, and also not but oh, goodbye, good. And think of a sackbird. A little bit second the notes, but good and bad. And it's not an easy start. And it's one of those conductors get terribly frightened about. And I'd like to solve it not in a conductor way, but in an acting way. So first of all, just the basics of it. The pulse, as always, we keep the tactus. So it goes Il maritato si pietà. So how it starts is that you, because you're the conductors, you breathe. Il maritato 1, 2, pietà. Super. Well, that's really easy. Good. So it starts that you all breathe. And it's like, for the first time, hell breathes. And you breathe the spirit of pietade, of sympathy. Very unusual thing in hell. So this first breath is like, you almost come to life. You unfreeze, you were the eternal dead, and now you open up. Pietade. And your next word is love. Amore. Wow! We haven't had any of that for years. So, where was the amore? Well, amore is Orfeo and Eurydice, and amore is also Proserpine and Pluto. There's lots of it around suddenly. Okay, now, could you be a bit more artistic conductors with your tactus and give me a pietade tactus? And then give me a triumphant tactus. It's not faster, but it's a different feeling, isn't it? Yeah? So put the change of mood into your tactus. More C major. Il maritato and pietade. Relentless rhythm of doom that takes him to his disaster. The feelings change. The feelings need to change more. The emotions change a lot, but the rhythm doesn't change. The rhythm is saying, bring this contrasting emotion now. Yeah. So we don't change the beat because that's telling us when each emotion arrives. The beat is constant, but the emotion should change a lot. That's the idea. What's all the same things?
In rehearsal, simple exercises using hand movements to focus on tactus, word accentuation, or vibrato help singers synchronize different elements of text, rhythm, and sound.
Now it's a little bit tentative, just do the same thing bigger. So straighter when it's straight and more vibrato. Do this, Jessica. Yes, that much. Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Once more.
And
again. And the next one. Good. And you can do that with every long note.
Yeah.
The hell scene draws to a close with an allusion to the last line of Dante's Inferno. Eurydice can no longer hope to see the stars again. Riveder le stelle.
Torno l'ombra di morte, infelice Eurydice, e più sperarti di veder le stelle. Ormai sia scorto ai preghi tuoi l'inferno.
Yeah, so you start off with B flat.
Yeah.
And then after a few bars it goes to B natural and then back to B flat.
Yeah.
So it carries on.
Yeah.
Their words for the flat and natural, the flat was called molle, which is soft,
Yeah.
and the natural was called duro, which is hard. And you are alternating in your sadness between a soft sadness and a hard sadness.
Okay.
In other words, between a kind of melancholy, a sadness, and a real anger. Mon Jeremy is turn myself.
Okay, so I'm turn.
Yeah. This is the thing, it's so particular. And in a way, I see you grinning,
Yeah.
in a way it's laughably simple.
Yeah.
But if you do it full on, it's very powerful. Because you can say, you're saying, what can I do except turn myself to you, the forests? It's so simple, but it's very direct, and it's this thing of timing everything, timing the emotions, even timing the simple movement when it says.
Act 5 presents dramatic challenges. First there is Orfeo's long lament, and then the happy ending in which he is rescued by Apollo and taken to heaven. Modern commentators have criticised Monteverdi's music for Apollo as slow and heavy. Perhaps because it is often performed slowly and heavily. We looked for help from text and tactus.
Sort of sad. Yeah? And now this next one we're in despair. Third section, serviceable tempo. This section is all about comfort. It's full of words like conforto. And you turn to the good side and you get some comfort. But now you turn to the bad side and you force nature. You voi vido leste o monte, whether you like it or not, you mountains, you have to be miserable. And you even force an echo out of the nature. So you're looking for more than could be possible. And the echo's telling you, it's okay, it's enough, you have enough. Next, G minor section, Ma tu anima mia. This is healthy, this is good. You just have a little nostalgic thing about Eurydice. And that's very good until you suggest that you might even sacrifice yourself. Give yourself is nice, but sacrifice yourself. Uh-oh, there's a hint there of suicide. This is going too far, and suicide's another deadly sin. This is definitely on the bad side. But we return to Eurydice, and we have the, yes, you're so beautiful, everything, you were so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Then this mentre. Although all other women are horrible. Now, that's, that's not right. Yeah. So you lose a bit of Renaissance courtier points there. But you go good again. Ogni lingua lode. Yes, we should praise you. You're wonderful. Okay. So you regain your sense of Renaissance proportions of how to behave well. But then you flip. Hola tu donne sono superbe e perfide. So now you're just, terrible. You're violent, you're angry, and
I would never fall in love again.
Non fidjamai, never again. Evil women, love will, get me in the heart. And there's violence there, and there's all the ideas of the other ending, that the evil women, that you've just rejected, and they won't get your heart. Yes, they will, and they'll cut your head off too, and that will float down the river.
In 1600, the composer of Eurydice, Jacopo Peri, explains how he extracted musical pitches from dramatic speaking. Some tones are pitched in such a way that there one can build harmony, and in the course of speaking one passes by many other syllables which are not pitched, until one returns to another tone suitable for movement to a new harmony.
Lo sdegno ed al dolor in preda, così ti dono figlio. Lo sdegno ed al dolor in preda, così ti dono figlio. Non è consiglio. It's like speaking in slow motion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice way to put it, thank you.
The step is pa-pa, pi-pa, 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 pa-da-pa-da-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. It'll be my right hand. Someone take it. Rick, leave your right hand up behind you. Someone take the right hand. The right hand. They'll get into a pair and take. Okay, now look, point being, if we were to face forward, we'd all be facing the same way.
Different attitudes to rhythm are clearly seen in the various roles adopted by percussionists in classical orchestras, following the conductor, early music ensembles, giving an impression of steady rhythm whilst actually following the soloists, and jazz or rock bands maintaining steady rhythm for the whole ensemble. In this no conductor, tactus-led production, the percussionist adopted the jazz rock model, taking charge of the entire 80-strong ensemble. In this unconducted, tactus-led production, the Continuo section played a vital role. According to Monteverdi's instructions, the Continuo instruments were placed on either side of the stage. Each group combines the sustained sound of the organ with the plucked strings of harps and chitarroni to provide the foundation of the harmony and of the rhythm. The score of Orfeo indicates which instruments play at particular moments, changing the sound according to the emotional affect. Details of Monteverdi's music correspond to the theorist Agazzari's descriptions of the different roles of each continuo instrument. In most modern performances, continuo players are expected to abandon the notated rhythms and follow the singer blindly. But in this production, continuo players guided the singers by maintaining the tactus in a gentle alternating rhythm, like a slow pendulum.
You don't have to follow her, just stay in the rhythm that's written.
The most commonly occurring Italian words have 2 or 3 syllables. Period sources analyse continuo harmonies 2 or 3 notes at a time. We did the same for continuo phrasing, identifying good and bad chords.
Organists, could you play 2 notes at a time? Don't play polyphony, just play with the bass. So after the first chord, 2 notes at a time. Roll the chord on the first beat, vrum, together. So we get the 1 and 2 of the first beats. Vrum, together, while vrum, together. Vrum, check.
Usually, each word connects syllables from good to bad. Basso, tenore. Harps, chitarroni and harpsichords put the bass on the tactus beat and arpeggiate from good to bad.
3, 4. And now the 3 and 4 is the same idea as before, just bom, 3, 4.
At the end of the phrase, the last bad syllable is played short.
Not really dying, but
if the singer begins the next phrase after a short rest, the continuo gives a rhythmic kick on the tactus beat.
Yeah, more together. 1, 2, continuo group. The words gelatimenti, it must be the end of the second stroke.
Continuo players paint the words of the text with changes of tone colour. Gelatimenti means cold minds.
A colder sound, yeah. Go down, theorbos down towards the bridge, harps, tighten up your finger joints so the sound is horrible. Don't play loud, but just make the sound cold and horrible. And use a bit of fingernail if you've got some. Not too much organ there, because the organ sounds so warm and generous.
Now it's clear the idea of the continuo in my mind.
In questo prato no, ogni selvaggio nume, sovente ha per costume di far lieto soggiorno.
As we prepared for the final dress rehearsal, we revised tactus-led connections, making singers confident with the beginning of each speech or chorus.
leave it later. So it's like a little ornament, it's not the main thing of the step. Okay, so it's not going to here, we're going forward, ornament. Long note, vibrato.
Boom that you do to make the bridge very loud and then be a bit softer. And as you do more stuff, let it be lighter. So the shorter the notes are, the lighter they are, so that basically 2 in a bar stays there.
I was amazed about the efficiency of the work. First of all, of Andrew, and then how he managed to make the whole thing happen in 1 week using these few rules that he always mentions, and which is actually makes the whole thing simple. It seems simple for us.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to all of you for the huge work that you have done, for your professionalism in turning up to all these rehearsals, and for your preparation. What we have tonight is what you have made. My job is now largely finished. Basically, it's now your show. Each one of you. We had this joke about, who's the conductor? I! So, you're the conductor, make the tactus. And you, each one of you, instruments, brass as well, singers, chorus singers, solo singers, each one of you is telling the story. This is not called an opera. On the front page, you've all got a nice fake front page, it's called a file music. It's a story in music. You are telling a story to the audience, and each one of you has to explain to them what it means. They might not understand 17th century Italian, so you have to tell them passionately, with everything you have, with your instrument, with your face, with your hands, with your body, by saying the words clearly, you have to tell them your story.
Virtuosa